Are you guys taking it live too?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Oh, shit. We're 10 away from the open. we gotta take it soon. Okay, we're in the show open.
Well, just tell me when to go.
We can go ahead and go.
Okay. It was about 1:15 this afternoon when police were notified that there was a child in a car. The car was stolen out of a driveway. This is in northwest Oklahoma City. It's very close to the area of Northwest 50th and Broadway. When officers arrived at the scene, the facts they gathered was that there was a child placed in the car. The mother of the child had come outside, put the child in. Apparently the dog got out. She turned to deal with the dog, and at some point there was a person standing nearby. That person saw the vehicle running, got inside the car, drove off in it with the child in it. It's important to note that right now there's no indication that this was a targeted kidnapping. For all we know, the person was looking to steal a car and did not even know that there was a child in it. Doesn't change how dangerous the situation was, but it just better explains what was happening. It appears the person drove off. A short time later, well, a couple hours later, somebody called in, indicated they had spotted the vehicle in South Oklahoma City. This was near Southwest 77th and Douglas. When officers arrived on the scene, they found the vehicle, they found the child still in the car unharmed. So again, every indication this person went out, saw a car running, jumped in it, drove off, and abandoned it later. Thankfully, the child was fine. That is the most important thing. The person who stole the vehicle is still at large. We have officers in that area still searching for him. So if you see police cars, helicopters overhead, that's what you're seeing right now. The child is on his way back to the scene to be reunited with his family. But again, the most important thing, the child is fine. When officers arrived very shortly after their arrival, they started the Amber Alert process. That is not a quick process. Everybody always thinks that you push a button and an Amber Alert goes out. It's not that simple. We got started on it immediately. It takes a while for it to go out, but the Amber Alert did go out. So again, at this point, suspect's still at large, and the child has been found safe and sound and is on his way back home.
Is there any reason the suspect or the child had any relation? Do we know if they knew each other?
There's no indication at all that there's any relation between them.
And you said, unfortunately, the description of the suspect is very, very vague right now.
The description is vague. It's a person who's probably involved in homelessness, probably a homeless person, a transient outside here. There was some indication that there was at least one or two out here in the area, and it appears that it was one of them that got in the vehicle and drove off in it.
Do you guys have any video, anything to go off of?
We're looking at that now. We're looking to see if somebody had Ring doorbells, something along that type of camera, because we are in a residential neighborhood. So we're not going to have businesses here with cameras aimed at it, but there's certainly a lot of homes here, and that's something we utilize, is those Ring doorbell cameras. So we're trying to gather evidence on that right now as we speak.
Do you know if the child has been reunited with his parents yet?
I don't think so. I think that's going to happen behind me here in a little bit.
Oh, okay.
Do you know how they're doing since learning the news of the
I don't know. I'm sure they're ecstatic. I can only imagine, being a parent myself, how terrible that must have been, and what the waiting must have been like. But thankfully, that child is going to be reunited with them shortly.
What was the search like? We've heard helicopters flying overhead. There were so many officers here. What all was...
Right, we utilize a number of sources. We have a helicopter, obviously, but we saturated the area with personnel. We had officers in uniform. We had undercover officers. We had all sorts of resources out here that we brought to bear on this situation in hopes of finding this kid. And thankfully, we did find him alive and well.
I know you mentioned that flock cameras were a part of your attempts at finding the kid. And now that the kid has been found, locating the suspect, do the flock cameras help with that at all, now that you know where the vehicle ended up being?
Sometimes the flock cameras, which for the public that doesn't know, those are cameras that give us pictures in real time of where somebody is or where they were as they passed the camera. Police cars are outfitted with them. They're outfitted on poles in some parts of the city, but we are certainly going to go back and look at those and see if we can determine what was going on.
How good does it feel to get this quickly resolved?
Oh, it's an amazing feeling to find this child alive, and that's an amazing feeling for everyone, because everyone involved in this spent hours out here trying to find this kid, and police officers are parents also, and they understand that sometimes people, something will happen and put a person in a position where their kid goes missing, and that's the last thing anybody wants, and thankfully this kid's okay. And that's really all I've got, guys.
Thank you.
Thank you.